Hi and welcome. My name is Ben Howard. So I wanted to talk to you about Microsoft Ignite and what had recently happened there, specifically regarding Project for the Web. So Ignite happened in October 2020, and what George Bullock announced, and George is a program manager for Project for the Web, is a Microsoft solution accelerator to bolt on top of P4W, Project for the Web, if you like. So what's that solution accelerator going to do? Well, it's going to provide us with additional objects or artifacts that we can use in P4W, such as issues, risks, the ability to create a program of work, etc. Now, at the time of talking, which is October 2020, this solution accelerator isn't yet released. It should be released soon. One hopes it will be available on GitHub for partners and for customers alike. So it's going to extend the capabilities of P4W and make it much more like the solution we have in Project Online today. So what else did George talk about? Well, he also talked about the ability to report on this data because everything is stored in the common data service. So he demoed Power BI report, which again brought in these additional project objects so that we could report properly across P4W, including issues and risks, etc. George also ran an Ask the Expert session for the Solution Accelerator as well. So rather than rehash George's video, I'm just going to play his video in its entirety from Ignite now so that you can watch that, but please do feel free to ask me any questions on this and I'll update you as soon as the Solution Accelerator is available for use or even for trial use for everybody. All right, thanks and enjoy the video.
Utilizing the Project Accelerator solution, which I'll be demoing for you today. Well, we're going to start by talking about the work management gap, and this is something we find so many of our customers are experienced. And it starts with the fact that today we all manage projects, but we're not all trained to manage projects. And we all believe collaboration is critical. And for our customers and for us at Microsoft who are leveraging Teams, we find that collaboration is getting better and better. But for many companies, it can still be chaotic and it happens everywhere. It happens in email, in chats, in hallway conversations. And then teams want to manage work the way that makes the most sense for the team and the work. But legacy tools are often inflexible, difficult to use, and simply don't allow us to manage work in any but the prescribed way that fits the tool best. So because of this, we find that teams begin choosing their own tools to succeed. And that can be great for the team because they've picked a tool that fits their work and they get started and they're doing great. But now we want to use our data effectively, but it's all over the place in different systems, and reporting is often a manual procedure of running around and gathering data either from individuals or from different systems. And finally, we want to make better decisions with our data, but it's really hard to get the big picture in real time because data is everywhere. One of the key reasons for this gap is that most platforms today only see some business data. So a CRM system may see accounts and orders and opportunities. A project management system sees projects and tasks. But most business processes are far more connected across systems and data. At Microsoft, we're excited because we believe we're in a unique position to help our customers bring this data together across our three key platform elements: Office, Dynamics 365, and Azure, in a single connected work management platform that brings to bear all these services and the capabilities that the services provide. So everything from Project for the Web, which is now built on the Power Platform, Dynamics 365, which brings in resource management and financials and many other things, Office, which brings in Teams, Planner, To Do, Outlook, and SharePoint, and Project for the Web is natively integrated with Office. It's really built on Office as well as the Power Platform. And because Project for the Web is built on the Power Platform, we can bring to bear Power BI as our native reporting engine. Customers and ISVs can build great solutions using Power Apps, and we can automate workflows and business processes with Power Automate. And using the project roadmap capability, we can even bring in Azure Boards data into roadmaps alongside projects that are stored in Project for the Web. And of course, we can use Power BI to report across all these applications. And Project for the Web is built on the Common Data Service, which is a powerful, really it's an entity, a business entity management system, and that's where the data for Project for the Web goes. With all that, our vision for work management is really simple. We want to enable teams to work the way they want while enterprises get the results they need. Let's talk about Microsoft Project for the Web, our reimagining of Microsoft Project on the Power Platform. We first released Project for the Web at Ignite 2019, so hopefully you're already familiar with it and are using it. With Project for the Web, we've delivered a fresh new experience for modern work and project management. Because Project for the Web is natively integrated with Teams and Office 365, we've made collaboration easy, both within the native Project for the Web experience, as well as within Teams. We've also taken the project scheduling engine and moved it to the cloud as a cloud service, and Project for the Web is built on this service. So you'll get the intelligent planning and scheduling you've come to expect from Microsoft Project. Also, because Project for the Web is built on the Power Platform, you'll have all the power you need to innovate and extend the system to meet your key business needs. Here you see our grid view, which has plenty of visual affordances to understanding assignments and status and much more. Here's our board view, and if you've used Microsoft Planner, you're probably quite familiar with this. You have plenty of power to customize your boards, as well as use the built-in boards we've provided for seeing things like task status, as well as assignees and more. This is the same data from the grid view, but just visualized in a Kanban-like fashion. And of course, we haven't left behind the Gantt view, which we call timeline in Project for the Web. This is a fully interactive timeline view where I can drag and drop to move tasks in time, to shorten or lengthen their duration, and to create dependencies between tasks. Now let's talk about the value of the Power Platform and Project for the Web together. The Power Platform is a no-code, low-code platform that enables you and empowers you to analyze your data, act on your data by building apps very quickly, and automate key tasks and business processes through your favorite apps and services. The capabilities that enable these things in the Power Platform are Power BI, of course, for business analytics, Power Apps for rapid application development, and Power Automate for workflow and business process automation. There are many other exciting capabilities such as data connectors, the AI Builder, and of course, all the data is in the powerful Common Data Service. This picture gives you a visualization of Project for the Web on top of the Power Platform. Now, we've incorporated Power Automate natively into capabilities of Project for the Web and the project roadmap. Also, Power BI is our native reporting engine. And the Accelerator solution I'll be showing you later in the presentation is actually a Power App. Let's take a look at some of the features we've just added to Project for the Web. First, we just added project and roadmap apps for Microsoft Teams. Using these apps, you can create a new project or add an existing project to any team or channel in Teams. You can do the same for project roadmaps. And then you will get the full experience of Project for the Web or the project roadmap capability right inside Teams. Next, we've added task custom fields. Task custom fields allow you to add text fields, flag fields, date fields, and number fields to the tasks in your Project for the Web projects. And going forward, we plan on adding many other data types as well. I'd like to close by showing you where we're going with Microsoft Project in the rest of calendar 2020, as well as into calendar 2021. Now, dates and capabilities on this roadmap are subject to change, but this will give you a great idea of the directions we're going. And we'll be continuing to update our roadmap based on feedback from customers like you. As you can see, our areas of focus are collaboration and customization, extensibility, deployment and administration, adding a great team member experience within Office and Teams, enhancing the project management capabilities available to you in Project for the Web, and even adding exciting people management capabilities. And now let's get started on the Project Accelerator solution. The Accelerator solution is one example of how you can harness the Power Platform and combine it with Project for the Web to address your project and program management needs. Now, it can be extended even beyond what we've done here, and I'll be talking about that as we go. But this is an example of what we'll be providing for customers so they can get started with an initial expansion of what they're doing with Project for the Web. So the Accelerator starts with project requests, allows you to manage demand management through those requests, allows you to manage sets of projects through programs. Of course, it allows you to manage projects, including managing them using the Project for the Web interface, which I just showed you. You also get a great view of resources and a very powerful set of reports, and we'll go through all that as we go. Let's start with project requests. The Project Accelerator solution supports demand management through intake, narratives, prioritization, and approval of project requests. And if you're familiar with demand management, this is a way to capture ideas, require that people develop a request with a business case, rate these requests and prioritize them, and approve the ones that make the most sense for your business. And what I'm going to do now is walk through a quick demo of project requests in the Project Accelerator solution. I'm going to start by giving you a quick overview of what we call the home dashboard of the Project Accelerator solution. And here you see I have 6 really easy to use reports that show me things like active project requests, financial summary, and so on. And these reports come out of the box, but you could update them to meet your needs or add your own reports. And I have the ability to easily jump into any of these reports and click around. So that's the home dashboard. But what we're going to do is we're now going to get into the project requests section of the solution. What we've done is we've added a project requests entity to CDS, and we've given it the fields we think customers will need to manage their project requests. But of course, you could add more fields and customize this entity in any way that makes sense for your business. And so I'm looking at my list of project requests here, and you see I have all this great metadata, things like project type, priority, and so on. I also have the ability to filter this view to see things like approved project requests, all of the project requests, and so on. And another thing I can do is based on the metadata that is available for the project requests, I can do things like, let's group our project requests by request state or perhaps by executive sponsor. So I get a lot of different capabilities. And none of this required code. This is all sort of out of the box as we develop this solution and as you develop your own solutions. These capabilities are all things you get out of the box. Another great thing here is I get these really easy to use pop-out charts here. I have a whole bunch of them here. In this case, I'm seeing estimated cost and benefits of my project requests by project type. So now let's jump in and look at a project request, and we'll go ahead and look at Collaboration Portal. So what somebody has done is they've come in and they've created this project request. And because of the fields we have on the project request entity, they're able to put in things like, of course, name, request date, priority, the project type that will be created when this project request is approved. And then I have my stakeholders here. And one thing you can see is that when I hover over stakeholders, I see a stakeholder, I see all the data that you're used to seeing as you interact with people on the Microsoft platform. And that's because these are just users that are in your Azure Active Directory. So when you use Project for the Web and the Accelerator solution, you don't need to build a separate enterprise resource pool. You're simply working with the resources that are available to you in Azure Active Directory. I've also provided fields for the requester to put in details and a narrative case. And then down here, we have some nice fields for prioritization. And also you're starting to see how I'm able to have calculated fields. So right now, this project is rated at a prioritization score of 54, but let's say the strategic alignment was stronger. We'll go ahead and change that. And now you see the prioritization score of the project request is a 50. The same over here, I've entered my estimated cost and estimated benefits of the project and gotten a calculated ROI for the project if it's approved. And then I'm able to talk about funding as well. So as you can see, there's a lot of robust metadata that we've added to this project request entity. And then we created what we call this entity view. Again, no code involved here. This is just right out of the box, the ability to create entity views on top of existing entities. And the last thing I'll show you is when a project is approved, I can approve it in this simple way. And what's happening now under the covers is a Power Automate flow will create a project for this project request in Project for the Web. But there's a lot of other things I could do with Power Automate. I could set up an approval workflow that has to go through multiple people. They could get emails asking them to approve. They could approve through Power Automate, or they could even get Teams alerts that would allow them to approve right from Teams. So that's project requests. Now let's move on to programs. So the Project Accelerator solution allows you to meet your program management needs through the modern application, the Project for the Web application built on the Power Apps platform. And of course, program management is about creating programs, capturing financials and other metadata about the programs, connecting projects to the programs, and then tracking and analyzing the progress and status and financials of the program and its underlying projects. So going back to the Accelerator solution, you see I have this other entity view for programs. Now we've started with program management because it is where customers tend to start when they want to advance the maturity of their project management office. But you could also use this for portfolios, or you could add a portfolio entity on top of programs and really manage both portfolios, programs, and projects. So again, what you see here is a list of programs, just as you saw a list of project requests, and all the metadata that we've added to this new program entity that we've created and give you as part of the Solution Accelerator. Now, some of these fields, as you see, of course, are calculated because they're based on the underlying projects. A nice thing here is as I go into the grid, I'm actually able to get in and do bulk editing through the grid itself. But let's go in and look at the entity view for a program. And once again, you see I've provided many fields for capturing things like state and priority, business unit here, program goals. And these are all drop-down fields where we've provided values that you can select, but you could also change these to your own values. You could add more fields, et cetera. And once again, I have my stakeholders here based on people who are in your Azure Active Directory. I've set the schedule of the program, and these are the desired start and finish dates for the program. These are independent of the underlying project's dates. And let's go on and see some of the other views that we have. So all of these fields that you're going to see across all these tabs are part of the program entity. So here you see I'm able to put in a budget and benefits. I get a calculated ROI. I get remaining budget allocation, and that's based on what's happening with the underlying projects. And over here, you see more calculated fields I have that, again, are based on aggregation of the data in the underlying projects. I have this nice status screen that allows me to track and set the status of the program. And again, this includes calculated fields based on the underlying projects. And I have a notes field where a notes view where I can go ahead and add notes about the program. But what's really nice here is the project grid. And so these are the projects that are part of this program. And I can add projects to this program in two ways. One, I can jump right into the project's entity view and begin creating a new project. Or I can look at the list of projects in my system and add one to the program. And that's how I've developed this view of all the projects that are part of the program. Now, from here, another thing we can do is we can choose a project and just jump right into this project entity view. And that's what I'm going to do for now. So now we're really at the core of the system, which is the project entity and related entities. The project entity is a native entity that you get with Project for the Web, and it comes with many valuable native fields. Its scheduling fields are set by the project scheduling engine that I talked about. But in this case, I've also added a whole bunch of custom fields myself, and we've added these to the Accelerator solution so that you can use them. And so you see there's very rich data here about state, stage, priority, and these are manually set here, but I could also use the Power Automate flow to automatically set these based on things that are happening to the project under the covers. I also have, of course, Project Manager, the calendar template being used. That's a very standard and important feature for a project management system. And then the schedule fields, which are all native Project for the Web fields. Now, we've really extended this entity with things like business case. And so here I can add a business case and narrative for this project. But also we have these fields here, and these fields are simply brought over from the project request that was, the starting point of this project. So when someone fills out a project request, once it's approved, we bring data over into the resulting project, and you see it here. We've also provided these powerful fields for project budget or financials. I can set the budget, the forecast, and the actual cost. And then, of course, I see remaining budget and variance. So you see we're already behind, we're over budget here. And I could go in and do a change management request to address that if I wanted. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then I have a calculated field for ROI as well, and these funding fields that came over from the project request. Then I can easily see the resources that are working on my project. Another thing is we've added a custom entity called risks that is related to the project. And so here I can go in and I can create new risks in the entity view for a risk. So this shows you all the data I can capture for a given risk, and then see that risk in this view here. We've done the same thing with issues, where you can create your own issues. We've added a custom issues entity to the system, as well as a change management entity. Also, there's this nice status page where I can go and set the status of this project manually. Some of these are calculated as well based on, for example, how many active risks, issues, or changes I have. And another thing we could do is we could automate some of this status based on what's happening to the project. And then a great thing here is I can at any time create a new status report using this, this status report entity view, and add the data I need and save that. And then I will get a history of these status reports here that I can share out with people. But a really nice feature here is the tasks tab, because as you may remember when I showed you the slides of Project for the Web, this is Project for the Web running inside the Project Accelerator solution. So I get that grid view, I still get my board view, and I get my timeline view for this project. And another great thing is if I really want to pop out and go deep on the project, and I prefer to do that through the Project for the Web interface, I can do that by just clicking that button. And here you see I'm managing this project right inside the Project for the Web interface. I have my grid, my board, and my timeline. So that's projects, and there's a lot there. We've added a lot of custom fields and custom entities, and you as a user can even add more. But now let's look at one last thing about projects, which is just like project requests and programs, we have this great list view of all our projects. And here I see all the metadata about the project, summary metadata, but then I also have these other views where I can filter projects, I can get a view more of the financial aspects of projects, I can focus in on my projects, and so on. Status summary is another view. So I can choose different sets of projects that I want to show, and I can also choose the fields I want to see in each view. And again, this is all built with no code. So let's go back to our summary view. And just as we did with requests and programs, I have the ability to group my projects by all the metadata that's available, things like stage, financial health, on track, at risk, you see here, project type. So I have different project types that are created by my different project requests. And so there's a lot of sorting and grouping I can do here. And then again, I have in-grid editing, so I can do bulk editing of the projects if I need to. And also here is where I can go ahead and start a new project using the powerful project entity view and all of its tabs as we just reviewed with other projects. I'm going to spend just a minute showing you the resources view of the Project Accelerator solution. And here, of course, I get the ability to filter just like I did in the other views. And the nice thing here is let's go into Megan Bowen, who is our unfortunately overworked project manager. And here I can get to the basic data about Megan. And I also can see this nice month view of her workload. And I'm not going to go too much deeper into this. There's other things to show because I want to make sure we have time to talk about reports. Now, of course, no project management system is worth its salt without a robust set of reports on top of all the data you're capturing in your system. We have a ton of great reports that we already provide out of the box with Project for the Web. And we've added a bunch more with the Project Accelerator solution. This is going to be a whirlwind tour because there's a lot to show here, but I'll give you the highlights of each report and how they all kind of work. So it starts with the request dashboard, and this shows us all of the project request data in the system. Right now, I get, as you'll see across many of the reports, I get these tiles with summary data. Here, I get a great bar chart for showing strategic alignment. And of course, because this is a prioritization exercise, I get this kind of standard prioritization matrix view. This is all active data, so I can go in and filter in any way that makes sense, and all the, the tiles will update to reflect my filtering. I also get the ability to filter by things up here. Program health, this is a standard format for the reports we provide with the Accelerator solution, where I see some visuals of different health aspects of my programs. And of course, I can click and filter in on those. So this is based on the program data in the system. Same thing for financials. Here, I get these summary tiles. I have a nice bar chart here, and then I can see project budget by business unit, or program budget. And I also get an overall picture of program budget. And of course, I can drill in, and because this is active data, the report will filter for me. Now, portfolio health is very similar to program health, but this is based on all the projects in the system. So we don't, out of the box in the Accelerator solution, have a portfolio entity, but you could easily extend your implementation by adding a portfolio entity and then starting to track portfolios of programs and projects. But in this case, you're seeing all the projects that are in the system. Again, you're getting a great view of health here. You have the ability to filter up here. So if you wanted to focus on a given project manager, you could do that. Portfolio dashboard is another of this format where we have these summary tiles here. We have projects by progress. We're still working to complete our first project. Have this great view of effort by project. And then I can do things like filter by project manager. And then down in the grid here, I can do whatever I need to focus on, gee, what project has the most overdue tasks, what project maybe has made the least progress, and things like that. Financials is another of these formats where I have some great visualizations at the top, and then all the projects in here, the ability to focus in. This one's really nice. This shows how much budget we have in our projects in each stage. So we have a sort of 4-stage gate process for our projects, and we can see the projects and how much budget is currently sitting in each of those stages. Portfolio timeline, this is just a nice visualization of all the projects across time and the effort completed and effort remaining. We have portfolio milestones. This shows us what milestones need to were completed in the last 30 days, as well as what's upcoming in the next 30 days. We have dashboards for our risks. We have a nice risk impact matrix there, a standard thing in risk management. Issues dashboard, very similar. Changes dashboard. We have a really great resources dashboard here with a lot of summary data about our resources. And then I can do things like drill into different projects. I can see for each of my resources how much effort they've completed and how much they have remaining. So a lot of detail there. We also have a resource assignment view. And the great thing about this view is I can go to any resource and drill in and see the projects that resource is working on and see the tasks that they're working on as well. And I could also go and filter the whole report for a given project manager. Tasks overview. This is a really great report at the task level across all the projects in the system. So I get a lot of summary data. And of course, I can come in here and do some sorting to determine things like what tasks have the most effort remaining and things like that. Project timeline is similar to that portfolio timeline as it lays out projects and tasks across time. Here, I have this expanded out quite a bit, but you could contract it and just see the projects themselves. But here I'm seeing literally all of the tasks in the project. This is a great view for individuals to come in and filter, and then this allows me to focus in on my work and a lot of information about my work through these summary tasks, these summary tiles, and of course I can do sorting and filtering because it's active data. And finally, just a really easy timeline of my work. And so that's the reports that we provide. There's a lot there. Some of them come out of the box with Project for the Web, and others we've added for the Project Accelerator solution. So here's what we want you to do next, including, of course, make sure to go and evaluate the session. So thanks for spending time with me today and coming to this very interesting and unique virtual Ignite. I hope to see all of you in Orlando this time next year. But for now, it's been great coming to you from my kitchen, and I hope everyone's safe and sound and enjoying Ignite. Thank you very much.
So there you have it. George has introduced the Solution Accelerator. I hope you found that useful. Please do feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel to keep updated on Project and Power BI, and B, secondly, do feel free to contact me if you need more information. All right, enjoy, and thanks for watching. Bye.